Welcome to my video on case studies as an instructional strategy. Case studies are often used in adult education, particularly in medical and law schools, but has applications with many different disciplines as well. It's an active learning strategy in which students analyze real-life scenarios using problem-solving and decision-making skills, and those scenarios should be relevant to the professional life of the student. So what makes a good case study? Let's take a look. Like a good novel, it should tell a story, have an element of conflict, and raise thought-provoking issues. But at the same time, not have an obvious or clear-cut right answer. It should promote empathy with the central characters and encourage critical thinking skills, demanding a decision of the students, and be relatively concise. The instructor's role is that of a facilitator, to provide direction and guidance, get students to examine all the actions of those involved, identify key events. The instructor needs to create groups and ensure that there's student collaboration, and synthesize the issues raised by students, fostering higher level discussion and providing debrief time. The student's role is to analyze the case for the underlying problem, identify its symptoms, causes, and alternative solutions, and present their findings and solutions to the class. There's a little bit for the introvert, there's a little bit for the extrovert, and the desired outcome is that the student will apply their theoretical knowledge to their professional life. Using case studies is a great way to create an active learning atmosphere in the classroom. Students benefit from being actively involved in their own learning process, and they develop problem-solving, critical reasoning, and analytical skills. They have increased motivation because they're self-directed and they're collaborating with their peers. There's not many cons listed in the literature. Some researchers note that this type of learning can be time-consuming for instructors, or that they'll have a hard time to adapt to the role of a facilitator. And it may not be a good fit for institutions that rely on academic style scoring. Learning with case studies is a form of experiential learning. The Kolb model of experiential learning aligns itself with the case study method. In fact, good case study lessons see students go through the 4 phases of Kolb's model: concrete experience, observation and reflection, forming abstract concepts, and testing in new situations, active experimentation. Case studies need to be presented in a sequential way. By gradually increasing the complexity of the cases presented, students are less likely to become confused. So let's see what this looks like in a lesson plan for a small boat captain's course where they're learning how not to smack into one another on the water. The collision regulations is a big document with lots of rules that govern the conduct of vessels at sea, and it includes a rule for crossing situations. So it says any power-driven vessel that has another power-driven vessel approaching from her starboard-hand side shall give way. Keep out of the way of that vessel. That's not a very visual way of looking at it. So let's give students a coloring book, a coloring page here, and they can fill in what the colors of each side of the boat look like as it corresponds to the side lights that a vessel would display. Even in daytime, they can think of red-green sides. If you're vessel A and you're seeing the red side of a vessel approaching on your starboard-hand side, red means stop, don't go any further, do something else. And we can see in this case that by not giving way to a vessel approaching on your starboard hand side, or not noticing that you might be seeing a red side of their boat, there's a major accident. So showing this type of simple video and starting out this way can be a good way to introduce the lesson. And from here we can look at introducing the actual exercise, which is an accident investigation. Students love this. They can play the role of an accident investigator, so the instructor gets them into groups and now shows them a video that they're going to dissect as a case study. This is a Coast Guard video from the United States where a Coast Guard vessel is en route to an accident and has a vessel approaching on her starboard hand side, but does not give way, and the result is that there's going to be a collision here. So as the students are watching this, the instructor is getting them to sketch it out, perhaps make some notes, and it's quite a good video. And so it has a couple extra layers compared to what the first video has, but not so many extra layers that it would confuse the students. So at this point, the instructor would be encouraging students to start drawing out all the different vessels that are involved, and collaborating with their peers in their small groups to make sure that everybody's on the right track and that they all have the same sort of sketches. The instructor can go around each group, make sure that the sketches are all lining up, that they're correct, and even throw in some extra little bit of high-level discussion in terms of a police boat or a Coast Guard boat displaying a flashing blue light when en route to an emergency, how that affects things, as well as another vessel that they may not have considered being a part of this scenario, and encouraging them to add that to their sketch and consider that as they go through their accident investigation worksheet and as a group come up with all the answers. And as the students present their findings in front of the class, the instructor synthesizes that information in a logical way, fostering higher level discussions when appropriate, and provides reflection and debrief time, which may include a field trip to the local Coast Guard station where the students could ask the Canadian Coast Guard if the blue flashing light is an invisibility light like it is in the United States. Thanks for watching my video.